Hello! So it's New Year's Eve 2024. 2025 is upon us, which means my 30th birthday will be soon upon me. Yeah, but before the end of the year, I thought I'd do one last update of 2024 to show the discs I got for Christmas, plus some discs I bought myself around the, Christmas period, sort of end of the year. Yeah, anyway, let's get started. So, first up, we have a Laserdisc. This is one I bought myself. Annie Hall, the Japanese release of Annie Hall. Those of you who haven't seen this, it's a romantic comedy, basically about the relationship between Woody Allen's character and Diane Keaton's character, Annie Hall, and it's sort of told in this sort of non-linear way. And it was basically the two of them they had been in a relationship before they made this. It's sort of based on their actual relationship. I think actually her real name is Diane Hall, so it's kind of a um based on their real relationship, and it's a really wonderful film. Won 4 Oscars, including Best Picture. Obviously, some people wouldn't necessarily want to watch a Woody Allen film these days, which is pretty understandable because he is a creep. But if you don't mind watching his films, this is a really good watch. Obviously, being Japanese, it has the subtitles burnt into the picture, and it's pan and scan copy. So not the best way to watch it, but I have a digital copy of the film, so I can watch it other way. I just like the cover, and I thought, I do like the film. It'd be nice to have a laserdisc, and I did quite like the cover, and it's got the Irby strip, so yeah, quite pleased to have that. Next up is, I also bought this myself. No Country for Old Men, film from the Coen brothers. Josh Brolin finds basically he stumbles across this sort of a crime scene where like this there was a obviously some sort of gang or thing went bad, and he finds $2 million in cash. And so he goes off on the run with this cash, and Javier Bardem plays the hitman who's sent after him. And yeah, it's an amazing. It's one of the best films of the 21st century. Really, it's a what I love about it is it starts, the first 3 quarters are like a thriller, like a standard sort of thriller, very well done one. But then that way through the film, something happens, and it kind of turns the story on its head. Like it becomes something else. I'm not explaining it very well. I'm trying not to spoil what happens, but you really should watch it. But those of you who've seen the film will probably know what I mean. But yeah, I think this is a brilliant film. I'm not the biggest fan of the Coen brothers, to be honest. Not that I think their films are bad. They're just not generally not my cup of tea. But I do really love this, and I do love Fargo. Yeah, this is the sort of standard UK Blu Ray from Paramount. Criterion did release this in the US recently on 4K, but I don't think we're going to get that release over here because Paramount, like I say, Paramount has the rights in the UK, and their UK branch doesn't license to boutique labels anymore. So they basically forget the UK exists. So yeah, we're probably not going to get the Criterion release. But fortunately, I mean, this is a very early disc. It's like the first couple, like 2007, 2008. Doesn't mention it on the back. Does it say on the disc? No, but it's like it's a very early Blu-ray disc. But even though it's quite early, it does still look pretty good. So it would be nice to get the 4K, but I'm fairly happy with this. There is a misprint on the back though, because I mean it's a UK release, so it's Region B, but the packaging says Region A. So yeah, I don't know what that's about. Bit of an odd cock up, but yeah, definitely worth seeing if you haven't seen it. It is a brilliant film. And then the last disc I bought myself is The Holdovers on 4K from Dazzler. Obviously, Universal released the film, but they've licensed it out to Dazzler for the 4K. Yeah, I haven't seen this yet. Came out in 2023. Been meaning to watch it for a while because I've heard amazing things about it. It won this lady here, Divine Joy Randolph. She won Best Supporting Actress. So yeah, I'm sure the acting, the acting. I think wasn't Paul Giamatti nominated as well. So the acting should be really good. And I do like Alexander Payne. His films, the ones I've seen. I love Election's one of my favourite films, and I do love Sideways as well. I've talked about both of those, I think, on not on my channel, but on the Movie Cheer podcasts like channel when I've appeared on his. I've talked about both of those in different videos. So yeah, I kind of regret not buying this earlier because it is a Christmas film. It's set around Christmas. Probably would have been good to watch it at Christmas. Of course, it's past there now. I got it in a post Christmas. You know, it was the 4K was reduced to $15.99 on Amazon. So I thought, oh, I'll pick that up. And yeah, I wish I had gotten it sooner, so I could have watched it at Christmas. But never mind. I'm not going to wait till next Christmas to watch it. I'll watch it before then. But would it be nice to see it at Christmas? Maybe if I watch it and I love it, I'll watch it again at Christmas. So yeah. Anyway, looking forward to finally sitting down and watching that. Now on to the Christmas presents. We have some Blu Rays. The Music Lovers by Ken Russell. Ken Russell's, I find he's being forgotten, I think, as a director. Like, he was a very notable director, at least in Britain, like in the sort of the 70s and 80s and that. And now he's not that well remembered. Which is a shame because he made some brilliant films. The Devils, Tommy, I really love Tommy as well. And yeah, I haven't seen this one. It's a biopic of Tchaikovsky. Yeah, haven't got much to say really, other than I've liked some of the other films of Ken Russell's I've seen, and it looked pretty good. This is BFI release. Got a nice booklet inside as well. So, yeah, The Music Lovers. Some indicator here. We've got The Black Pit of Dr. M. This is one of those. They've been releasing Mexican horror films the past couple of years. Be interested to watch that because I haven't really seen many Mexican films, to be honest. Some Hammer horror. The Shadow of the Cat. Another indicator. It's not a horror film. Sounds like it's a thriller by the sounds of it. Haven't seen it. Doesn't have a description. That's one thing about indicator starters is they sort of the special features. They don't give you a little blurb telling you what it's about. But yeah, I do like Hammer stuff. So yeah, not much to say. And then a couple of other Hammer films that I have seen, so I can comment on these. We have a Dracula, Prince of Darkness. It's the third Dracula film they made, but the second with Christopher Lee. So you had Dracula, aka Horror of Dracula, if you live in America. Then there was Brides of Dracula, which didn't have Dracula in it, but it had Peter Cushing as Van Helsing. And then you got this film, which was the third one, and Christopher Lee obviously came back and did about 5 more of them. It's one of the better Dracula films Hammer made. Like, they made about 7 of them, and some of the later ones are really bad. And then Rasputin, the Mad Monk. Ironically, this one was actually filmed back to back. These two, like, they were filmed on. They use the same sets. They have the same cast and director. So they kind of go. It's appropriate that I got both of them because they sort of go as a pair. This is obviously about Rasputin, Gregory Rasputin. Not the most historically accurate film, really, at all. Makes him into this sort of super-powered horror movie villain. But yeah, it is fun. This particular disc is quite notorious amongst Hammer aficionados because of the audio. So the picture quality on the disc's really good, and actually it has 2 aspect ratios. So it has the original 2:3:5 ratio, which it would have been projected at, and it has the 2:5:5 on an alternate ratio, which would have been the full ratio that it was shot in, the camera. So you're seeing extra stuff at the side that you weren't really meant to be seen because they were, they would be matted out by the soundtrack. But it's cool. It's actually the first time it was presented in either ratio on home video, because the DVD, I think, yeah, the DVD's just the old Optimum DVD. It's not like a newer disc. Unlike Dracula, where the DVD was the Blu-ray transfer on a DVD, this is like, just the old DVD. That was cropped to about 2:10 or something. It wasn't in the full ratio. So yeah, the picture's really good, but the sound is like really bad. It's really tinny. It sounds like it's being played from, the old like it's being played from like inside a fish tank or something. It's really bad. I don't know what happened when the why they had it's so poor, because like the DVD sounded fine. I don't know. So this one's quite notorious. This particular release is quite notorious having poor audio. I mean, you can still hear what the characters are saying. It could have sounded a lot better. I don't know if the Shout release in America has better sound. Yeah, even with the audio issues, I'm happy to have this because I do enjoy the film, and it does look very good, even if the sound's not the best. Some Arrow here. Exorcist II: The Heretic. So this is, let's take that off. There's the other side. Obviously, you've got the alternate artwork. That's on this. You've got the what's on the slipcover. So this is obviously the sequel to The Exorcist. It's supposed to be one of the worst films ever made. I haven't seen it. I've only seen bits of it, so I can't comment, although the bits that I saw were pretty awful. So I did specifically ask for this because, being an Arrow release, it has a lot of special features, and I find with like really terrible films like this, the extras are always really fascinating. And it does have two edits of the film. It has the original 118-minute premiere version and the 103-minute international versions. I do love the I do love the score to this. Like, I've heard Ennio Morricone did the music, and I've listened to the soundtrack, and the music in this is great. Probably better than the actual film. And the Blu Ray, the last of the standard Blu-rays, we have Blake 7, The Collection Series 1. So Blake 7, for those of you who don't know, it was a science fiction series that the BBC made in the late 70s, early 80s, created by Terry Nation, the guy who created the Daleks from Doctor Who. Actually, a lot of the people who worked on this also worked on Doctor Who around the same time, so it has a similar feel. It's really good. I mean, comparing it to classic Doctor Who, you imagine like it was done on a low budget, and the special effects do look pretty bad by today's standards. But the story, the scripts are really, really good. It still holds up. I'm surprised this hasn't been. There's the case inside. There's the booklet. I'm surprised it hasn't been remade, because, like I said, the story and the characters are really. So some of them are. Some are a bit bland, but there's some really good stuff in it. I can imagine remaking it with modern special effects. It would be a really great show. Now on to some 4Ks. We have Train Spotting, the steelbook. It's got a slipcover, and there's the actual steelbook inside. Pretty awful artwork on it, if I'm being honest. Not a fan of that cover, but there doesn't seem to be a standard release of it on 4K in the UK, just the steelbook, so I asked for this because I wanted to get it before it sold out. I think this uses the same master that Criterion did, and they released it in 4K over there, and I think it's the same master, even if it's not. From what it still looks way better than the old Blu-ray, which didn't look that much better than the DVD. Even if you're only Blu-ray cape, like you can't play 4K discs, you can only play Blu-rays. I would get this steelbook while you can, because the Blu-ray in here is the new. There's the discs. Is the new 4K transfer. So Kira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. So you probably know even if you've never seen this, you probably know the plot. It's a villager being bothered by these bandits, so they hire 7 samurai to help them fight the bandits. It was obviously remade as The Magnificent Seven, and both of them have had the plot ripped off by loads of things. So yeah, it is an amazing film. It's 3 hours long, Japanese, black and white. But even if the idea, you're like thinking, oh, black and white film that's 3 hours long, and you got to read the subtitles, and that's not for me. Watch this; it is an amazing film. Even it's probably like if I was to recommend a black and white film to or if someone who doesn't like black and white films, doesn't like foreign films, I would still recommend them this because it is that good. This is the limited edition. I think there's a standard release coming, but yeah. There's the box. So obviously you've got the case. I think my spine's slightly misaligned. Like it's not quite straight. I can't get it to be right in the middle. So never mind. And you got some art cards there. That's the special features disc. I don't know why that's first, and then the actual 4K. You've got a poster. It's a double-sided poster. I'm not going to fold it out. And a booklet. So, yeah. Really, really nice set. I think this is sold out now. But, like I say, there is a standard version coming. So, I think there's no... I mean, you just lose out on the attach. I think that you still get the bonus disc. So, if you just want the film and the extras, you're fine. Then we have another... Also by the BFI limited edition, we have Watership Down. So this was announced a couple of years ago, I think, but it got cancelled because of some sort of licensing issues. But now it's finally come out and has a similar layout to Seven Samurai. You've got poster, booklet, and the case. This one's just single disc because it's a much shorter film, so you can fit the film and all the extras on one disc. This is a good film. It is a good film. Sorry. Quite infamous for scaring a lot of children. So it's about these sort of rabbits. But it's very dark, very violent. Was a U for many years. It's not a U anymore. It's a PG now, but it was a U for many years, and it's probably one of the least appropriate U certificate films ever. I'm not even sure you could call it a children's film, really. To be honest, well, I guess it is, but it's a very mature film. But it is a really great film. Also worth watching is The Plague Dogs, which is kind of a spiritual successor. It was by the same director. It was based on a book by the same author, Richard Adams, and it also has John Hurt. John Hurt voices the main rabbit in this, and he also voiced the main dog in The Plague Dog. So, if you like this, seek it out. If you find this film very upsetting, maybe don't go near The Plague Dogs because that's even more upsetting than this. Angel Heart. This is a really cracking thriller. So it's about Robert De Niro Mickey Rourke is this private detective, and he's hired by Robert De Niro to find someone, and that's all I'll say, really. It's sort of one of those films that's best to watch not knowing a lot about it. But it's a really, really great sort of horror thriller film. Got Lisa Bonet, who was the daughter in The Cosby Show's in this, and she actually got sacked from The Cosby Show because she did a sex scene in this, which is quite graphic. And Bill Cosby had her sacked from The Cosby Show because it wasn't appropriate for the Cosby Show's family friendly brand for her to do such a raunchy scene. Quite hypocritical of him to do that in hindsight. I do note that the UK releases are all cut because cut by a few seconds to remove a scene of cockfighting, because there is a law in this country called the Cinematograph Act where any scenes of animals actually being in distress or pain, legally cannot be shown in a film, so they have to be removed by law. So a lot of films have with animal cruelty and get cut over here. It's not because the BBFC are being prudish. It's the law says you're not allowed to show that stuff. So it is slightly cut over here. Doesn't bother me personally. I'd rather not see animal cruelty, but if you're opposed to censorship in any, like, I will not watch a censored copy of a film, maybe import a copy from overseas, because it's just a few seconds, but it is still cut. So just thought I'd warn people. Evil Dead Rise. So this is the newest Evil Dead film. Haven't watched it yet. Now I can. Maybe I'll do I watched through the original trilogy around Halloween time. But maybe I'll do another at some point next year. I'll do a watch of all of them, like the first three again, the remake, and this, because I do own all of them, so might be interesting. I have heard it is good. Just haven't seen it yet. My sister actually got me these two, which surprised me because she didn't like horror films, so I was surprised she'd even pick these up, even if it was a gift for someone else. And then finally we have, talking of legacy sequels to 40-odd-year-old franchises, we have Alien Romulus. I have seen this. I missed it at the cinema, didn't see it. Haven't watched it on streaming or anything because I knew I was getting it for Christmas. I watched it last night, actually, and I enjoyed it. With some reservation, I enjoyed it overall, but I did have some problems. It is kind of like a paint-by-numbers Alien film, like plays it very safe. It's almost like if you went on to like ChatGPT and said, write me an Alien sequel, this is probably quite similar how it would turn out. And there's a lot of cutesy references to like the other films that are like, there's no reason for them to be there other than, oh, it's like that bit in Alien, it's like that bit in Aliens. And also they use Ian Holmes' likeness, like, because spoilers for those of you who haven't seen Alien, the first Alien, I assume most of you have, but Ian Holmes' character in that turned out to be an android. And in this film, they have the characters find an android, and I guess it's the same model as his character. He has a different name, but so they have his likeness with like CGI on another actor to make him look like Ian Holmes. And apparently it was done with Ian Holmes, like his family's blessing, and they say he probably would have liked, he probably would have been fine with it. But still, it felt a little distasteful to me personally, because it's like there's no reason for that character to look like Ash other than just fan service, like, oh, the android in this looks just like Ash. Like there's no reason for it other than that. Like you could have easily just had another actor playing the android and people would just say, oh, it's a different model, But I mean, I say I enjoyed the film, but all I've done is just slag it off. But I did like it. Actually, unusually for a Disney disc, this has Dolby Vision, because they don't tend to put it on discs. They tend to, because I think Dolby Vision costs a bit more. So some studios like Disney will just put Disney will just put the HDR10 version on the disc, but this actually has Dolby Vision. I don't know why, but I'm not complaining. So that's the end of the update. I hope you all have a happy new year. I hope you have a really great 2025. And if you've seen any of the films, let me know in the comments about what you thought of them, and I'll see you all next year. Bye.